I had to let go of my agenda of getting that $5,000 sale. I had to stay focused. Again, I didn't give up my dream. My dream for that division was $30,000 in sales in the first month. I didn't give up on my dream. I had to give up on the how. It wasn't going to happen on that day at that time. And I was not going to walk back into my office with a $5,000 order loading to my staff. As soon as I let it go, the peace came back within. What are you paying attention to? What are you attached to? Third one, again, this is all to get us headed back to joy, was what strengths do I bring to this situation? With my family, I realized, you know what? Number one, I'm a good cook. I created this great meal. I'm very organized. I had gotten up early, gone to work, gotten the groceries, had everything there, had my table set, I remember the flowers at the farmer's market. I had all the details covered. Thought I'm patient, I'm loving, and I just started to foster all the benefits that I brought to this situation. And again, I found myself going from anger and frustration to just a place of peace and harmony and joy. In business, I thought, okay, what strengths do you bring? I thought, well, number one, I'm very observant. No offense, I got more men in the crowd probably than women. I don't want to riot on my hands, but I doubt you men would have noticed that there was a white band on his finger and a picture frame was turned around. I paid attention and figured out what was going on. Again, I thought I'm prepared, I'm tactful, and I thought I'm compassionate. And so I just built myself up, remembered nothing anybody does is because of you. It's always because of their own stuff. He had his own journey going on. And just because I didn't get a sale had nothing to do with me or my product. And then it took me to the fourth question. And that fourth question is, what actions support the greater good? And I realized with my family that if I wanted to hold on to that end goal of a beautiful family experience, that the greater good was for me to just stay in a loving place with an open heart, grateful for the family and food that we were going to share. Bob came in off his telephone call, and he kind of looked at the table and he kind of looked at me. I said, sweetie, come tell me about your call. And he sat down and we took about 10 minutes, and he told me he was so excited about what the phone call had been about. And after he had shared with me, I said, why don't you go wake up Rob and get Jordan? I'll reheat the food and we'll have dinner. The boys came in, and I had my first family dinner with my boys, and it exceeded my expectations. They told me how wonderful I was, what a great mom, what a wonderful wife. We shared stories, and they told me about their day. And so when I let go of all the other stuff, and I went to the greater good, it ended up coming back to me tenfold. And in business, I looked at that man. I'd finally gotten my sample case up on his desk after he cleared some papers. And I thought, you know, what supports the greater good? Right now, the greater good is me being in a place of compassion for this man who's hurting. I took my sample case off the desk and put it down beside me. I love this about you men. You're so easy to impress. I put my hands on the desk. I looked at him and I said, are you by any chance going through a divorce? He was shocked. How did I know? Oh, just a lucky guess. And I said, would you like to talk about it? You want to talk about a tsunami of emotion? For an hour, I listened to that man. He was so grateful to have a woman's perspective. He was so grateful to be able to share with somebody, and maybe because it was somebody he didn't know. He told me his fears and his frustrations and his concern for his children. He shared with me all that pain. I looked at him and I said, listen, you know, at that point we both laughed, we both cried. I said, listen, I really do still think my jewelry is a good fit for your store, and I'd love to set up an appointment for next week to come back and show it to you, and maybe you feel a little clearer. Then it was his turn to surprise me. He said, you know what? I feel clearer than I have in 2 months when this whole thing started. Let me take a look at your jewelry. Well, I prepared. I was ready. Here we go. And I started into my role play. I gave him the spiel. And he said, you know what, you're right. Your jewelry is a good fit for my store. And guess what?
You ordered 10,000.
I didn't walk out of there with a $5,000 order. I walked out of there with a $12,000 order. Woo! Yeah. When we let go of our attachment, when we focus on all the blessings in the situation, when we look to the greater good, it comes back to us tenfold. See, how we show up in the beginning always directly correlates to the outcome. Always. If we were watching a movie, if you think of your life as a movie, and you're watching the movie, and it's not the movie you want to be watching, it's a horror film out there, and you think, no, I don't want a horror film, I want a romance or a comedy, a family drama, whatever it is. You wouldn't go try to change the screen. You wouldn't think, oh, I'll put up this white cloth, it'll look different. No. If you wanted to see a different movie, you'd have to go to the projector and change the film. You've got to go to the source. If you want to see something different out there, you've got to start by changing what's in here. Mother Teresa said, we can do no great things on this earth, only small things with great love. I wish for each of you to go forth in great, great love. Thank you.
Thank you.